You are listening to Lucha Underground.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lucha Afterground, the world's premier Lucha Underground after show. We are back recording in Lucha Afterground headquarters. My name is Max, and with me, as always,
Travis. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Kevin's conspicuously absent.
As always.
Is Kevin... Should we explain what's going on with Kevin? I mean, I guess it's hard to explain. I think he was just super stressed out about doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Sure. And then that evolved into, him picking fights with teenagers.
Vampiro. Yeah.
And the rest is, kind of history. He's still a friend. I'd like to believe he's still a friend of the show. But
maybe he'll come back one day.
Maybe.
Maybe we should get him back for Ultima Lucha.
I was thinking about that as well.
Yeah, he'll do it. Unless he takes this conversation as us burying him for some reason. In which case, we'll
Rest in peace.
That's right. We'll probably never hear from him again. All right. Well, anything you want to talk about before we just jump right in?
Ultima Caucho was a really good time last week where we watched a lot of old
You try to
matches.
brand this weekend as being something other than
it's an
just
annual event. It's an annual event. This was the first annual. It might be monthly if we can really get it going. I was just going to ask you.
Mid-May. Every year in mid-May, Travis's wife takes the kid out of the house and he gets to sit and watch wrestling once a year.
Of all the matches we watched, and you didn't even say the whole day, but what was your favorite?
Definitely that All Japan 3-on-3. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yep, that's as good as it gets. I loved that, but that was like the 1-2 punch following the empty arena match with Lawler and
that
Funk.
was so good. We shouldn't dwell on it too much because people aren't tuning in for that type of thing. But if you can find or watch the empty arena match between Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk, it is really short. It is not long. And it is just incredible. Terry Funk should have won. We were talking about how Dario should have won an Emmy last time. Terry Funk should have won an Emmy for that performance, man. It was incredible. It made me want every match to be in front of an empty arena. It's just so good. You pick up on so many things. I don't know. It's weird that... what's weird about me as I'm trending in that direction. First, I wanted... I was so turned off by English language commentary because I found it so distracting that eventually when I started watching New Japan, the Japanese language commentary was great because I didn't understand what was going on, but you still got the emotion behind the call. And then they started doing some matches with no commentary at all. That's my fave right now. Now just let's pull the fans out. I don't want to see any fans. I just want an empty arena, no commentary. It's amazing.
One would think if it was happening for every match, it might lose a little of its charm.
Yeah. Well, we will see.
Violence.
We got the soundboard back. I'm psyched for that. We don't have any new sounds, but we do have this gem that we can revisit at any given time.
Oh my God, bro, he could have killed her.
No, man, she's all right. Man. she's fine.
You listen to me. You're never going to mention this to anybody.
Oh my God, bro, he could have killed her.
All right.
Season 2, episode 18 of Lucha Underground.
So, starts off with... or do you want to lead us through?
Well, we got that little recap at the beginning.
Sure. I'll let you take the lead on walking us through the episode,
okay.
I guess.
We saw briefly Captain Vasquez reminding us of the undercover cops. Mentioned the trios match, and Chavo and Cage, and Mundo joining the team and then losing. And that led us into our first segment, which was Pentagon Junior and Vampiro.
Walking. Pentagon is walking.
Feet. Yeah. Vampiro said he wasn't ready. Put him in like an armbar of some sort.
Yep. And this is a dynamic that we've seen quite a bit. I mean, this is probably the third master and student pairing that we've seen where we have this exact same conversation take place. Let me get in there. No, you're not ready. Dragon Azteca Sr. and Black Lotus did that all throughout season 1. And then we had Rey Mysterio Jr. and Dragon Azteca Jr. Same thing. And now here we are again. It didn't feel... to me, it feels like a trope. I don't know. Is it getting old? Are they repeating themselves? Is this a symptom of something?
I feel all three of those, now that you've mentioned it, obviously it is a trope. But each of them had different reasons and things behind it. I think tropes are called tropes because you can use them. If you can find a good way to do it, then do it.
Cool.
And
I agree, actually.
I think so far, so good.
Cool. Awesome. So, Pentagon is walking. I thought that would be a bigger reveal. It's just we cut to and here he is standing around.
Well, we know that he's walking. And because he was able to get out of that armbar, Matanza said he can go to the temple, but he's still not ready to face
Vampiro
Matanza.
said.
Or pardon me, Vampiro said he can go to the temple, but still not ready to face Matanza. So we know he is starting to power up. Number one, because he can walk, but also because there's some red on his mask. Right?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That wasn't there before?
I don't think so.
Oh, wow. So was he in new gear?
It looks like the transformation is beginning to take place.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm psyched for that. I actually expected him to make some kind of run-in in the final match of this, or maybe even the Chavo, Cage versus Chavo. I expected to see him in ring just for a moment, but I guess not. I guess it'll be, I predict it's gonna be a rescue. He's gonna rescue somebody. Who do you think is the most? If you need somebody to be swooped in and rescued, who do you put in that position?
Explain to me. Is this rescue going to like turn him into like a kind of more white knight?
I don't know because he's such an interesting character. But I guess let me put it like this. Let me set a scene for you. Matanza has somebody into the corner. They have been beaten senseless. There's nothing that's going to happen. Matanza could, the commentators are bumping it up like, he's going to kill them. He's going to kill them. Yeah. And then Pentagon Junior shows up and saves the day. Who do you put in that position to being threatened, whose life is about to end?
Maybe, so it could be anybody that he once had real heat with. Could be Puma. Could even be Melissa Santos.
Oh my God.
Broke her arm.
That's exactly what it should be. That's exactly what it should be.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it should be.
That'd be pretty good.
Definitely.
Although I hate this. I don't want him to be beaten to that bloody pulp point you got to. Maybe just like it, like really threatened in a corner. Like
I would love to see Matanza throw Melissa Santos through a table.
Oh, what a terrible thing to say.
Oh no, I'm serious. It would just be so shocking.
It
People
would
be like, "Oh, what the hell? How dare this person?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be sick. She's gonna take a bump at some point,
I think you're right.
Whoever does it is just gonna be despised.
Public enemy number one.
Absolutely. Oh my God, that is going to be good.
That's how you do your job.
We enter the temple. And it's back to that loud music, the more that bang, bang, bang that I was talking about. Did you notice that one, like, kind of big paper mache mask?
Yeah. Voodoo voodoo skulls, something like that. They're bouncing, not bouncing skulls. That's different.
I think so.
Yeah, anyways.
Anyway, it's a little different. Back up to off of that easy listening we had the week before.
Yep. So we definitely know that we have. Oh, and this leads us to Man in the Wedge. I gotta get that wedge.
This is a historic episode of Man in the Wedge because it's the first woman in the wedge. It was a redheaded hipster girl with glasses. So that's cool. But of note, it should be mentioned over behind Vampiro's left shoulder. It looked a little bit like Shoemaker, David Shoemaker used to be in Grantland and Cheap Heat.
Oh, you think so?
I don't think it is him, but it looks like him.
So
we should take note of him because if we see the next person in the wedge, I don't know. Do we need to change it? No. Still Man in the Wedge.
No, we've established a brand.
I can imagine they might switch seats. We might see him in the Man in the Wedge.
So it's important to take note. But definitely the woman with that red hair stands out like a sore thumb. You cannot miss her. Yeah. So that means, I think it's safe to say this is the first episode of a new shooting schedule.
No, because remember we didn't see it last week.
Okay.
So I think this is, but I did. There was something about the energy behind the matches that I think they might have been done in a different order. I'll talk about it when we get to it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Unless you have anything else you want to add about
Man in the Wedge? No, I'm good.
Because that is in this first match, which is Joey Ryan versus Masquerita Sagrada. The crowd was so into this match, more into this match than they were the Masquerita Sagrada like four-way with everybody from the one before. So I think this was the first match of the cycle.
Sure. But I mean, if this is this is the first day.
But they could have shot it on I don't know, because I think that other day
people just love Masquerita Sagrada, man.
But you can tell when there's a little bit of audience fatigue, this felt like this was the first match they had seen. That could be my imagination.
Yeah. So you don't think couldn't this not then be the first match of a fresh day of shootings?
Maybe, but then that wouldn't go with our, I don't know, the fact that we couldn't see the Man in the Wedge.
It's thrown everything off. Everything is fucked. Great.
Did you know Masquerita's music is the same music as the theme song for Nathan For You?
Oh, really?
Yes.
It must be like royalty free.
Yeah, I'm sure it is because I think I've seen it in commercials as well.
It's great. I did like how they foreshadowed Famous B's presence by having Vampiro pass the phone over to Stryker. Yeah. I got a feeling that's not going to turn out to be anything.
No.
But it would be weird to suddenly... I mean, Stryker can wrestle.
Yep. He did wrestle recently, actually.
Yeah. So maybe, just like a little... Could be something. Could be something.
What did you think of this match?
I thought it was great. I was like
Really?
shocked at times at how strong Sagrada was when he did the fireman's carry. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was great. And I mean, he's fun to watch. Well, I had a problem with this match is when he had that spot where he kicks Joey Ryan in the junk and it hurts his leg. I mean, it's funny, but where does Joey Ryan's indie character start, and how does it fit in with his Lucha Underground character, who's supposed to be an undercover cop as well?
I don't know. I don't know. It's what wrestling does. You have to blend all these realities into your mind, and then you sort of, you have to reconcile it all in the back of your head, and then you just sort of go with it.
I guess for me, it's just creating some inconsistencies in the character.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird. I felt that sort of strangeness about the Joey Ryan character from the beginning because they're. And I wouldn't be surprised, for some people who are really familiar with AAA, they probably get that sort of weird sensation too a lot of the time. Especially, if they're seeing a character in Lucha Underground that they're familiar with in the AAA setting, maybe behaving in a different way or having a different name.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just experiencing a little bit of that. But I mean, I can. It doesn't really bother me. I can see past it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we see his YouTube or YouPorn plex. Then what?
It's probably coming. Do you think that was I've been expecting it now for a little while, and every time I think it's coming, it doesn't. So maybe this is kind of a tease in some ways that could be coming up. I mean, we've talked about it before. It's like his greatest hit. You can't.
Yeah.
It's what people want to see.
Yeah. It's his Freebird.
It's his Freebird. People want. People want to see it. So hey, honestly, it doesn't bother me. It is weird, but if you sat down somebody who didn't know anything about wrestling and was keen about Lucha Underground and they watched it, how would they feel about it? I think they'd be totally cool with it.
I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. I did think Masquerita Sagrada was great in this.
As always.
I like the touch. You start to see Famous B starting to get a little frustrated at the end when he's like, no, it's okay, but you could see it in his face oh god, maybe I picked I'm betting on the wrong horse here.
No, you think so?
That's what makes me think, here we go,
oh man,
he's going to beat Famous B at Ultima Lucha.
Oh my
god, and that's how he's
God.
going to become famous.
Yes, I love it, man. I love it. Where's my sound for this one? No, wait, where's my sound?
That's how you do your job.
There you go. You know what sound we don't use very often now that Kevin's not around?
This match is getting snug.
It's because we're too friendly.
That's right.
We gotta
miss you,
start,
buddy.
you gotta start being mean to each other. Say stuff to each other. They're just like, I need to hit this
This match is getting snug.
in order to diffuse the bad feelings.
Okay. All right. I'll try to think of something I dislike about you. It was a fun. I did like there was a fun Delta Whirl DDT to win the match.
Yeah, totally. Here's the thing about this match that stuck out for me is at one point, Joey Ryan leans over and tries to give the lollipop to Brenda, and Famous B runs over and he says, do you want this? Do you want this? I can make it happen. Just give me a call. Just give me a call. And to me, it sounded like he was willing and able to pimp Brenda to Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
And then the commentators, they sort of repaired it a little bit by saying he's willing to trade his lollipop for the business card. But I'm like, no, I don't think that's what was going on there. I think Famous B, in the moment, said some stuff just off the cuff as a joke, or maybe got kind of. I don't think it was planned in any way. And they use the commentary to cover it up. But, yeah.
Or maybe this is part of this, if that frustration a little bit, and this is maybe it's a slow heel turn here. Because he keeps taking the mic from Melissa, and she didn't seem as okay with it this time either.
That's so true. I noticed that as well. I felt a little more Marty the Moth to me.
Yeah.
Interesting, man.
He's kind of overstaying his welcome.
I think we're onto something here.
Yeah.
I think you're
I hope
right.
so.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God, bro, he could have killed her.
I hope that's Famous B plants Brenda with a right hook.
Oh my God, bro, he could have.
That's the
her.
final full turn.
And then
There it is.
Masquerita Sagrada
comes
is
to the rescue.
This is it. Yep.
Perfect. We got a Taya vignette after this match.
What did you think?
It started off like a bad PSA, I thought. Like the way she's like, do you look in the mirror and see someone you don't think is perfect? Like I was waiting for her to say, like it reminded me, there was an old, in the 90s, like Canadian PSA of a kid looking in the mirror and he's like, you're hopeless. And then you can hear his mom in the other room saying, who are you talking to? And it's revealed he's looking into a mirror and he goes, nobody. That's kind of how I wanted like Mundo to be like, hey, who are you talking to? Nobody.
That would have been really interesting,
right?
man.
Yeah, that could have been a good, would have added a real layer of.
I mean, I don't know how you deal. Like, where would that take the character? Like, you can't just have a character sink into depression and then just like.
But then put on this happy face every time she's.
I was thinking about that. You know, when we were watching that. All Japan last week. This isn't about All Japan, but it really made me start thinking about like wrestlers as emotions and stuff like this, you know. And to have, if you were to plant in a like sadness on a wrestler, if that emotion is always their baseline, they're always trying to get back to it, then eventually you could have a wrestler who's just sadder, and then one day they were just written off, and you don't know what happened to them, and they don't mention it. And this would be a great way to have started that.
So messed up.
I know, but you know, it happens. Sometimes terrible things happen.
Hey, we don't see Taya around lately.
Yeah, what happened to her? You know, I don't know. I keep calling her. She doesn't return my calls. Maybe we should send somebody over there. Hey, she's got family. She's got friends. It's not like we're the only people she knows.
And she's always so bright and vibrant and happy and confident.
That's right. Dark.
Oh, man.
That's dark. That's dark.
For me, it is a happy memory.
I know that you loved the next segment of King Cuerno at home.
Oh, wait. I'm not done with the Taya promo.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so I love the Taya promo a lot. I love any of these promos that are just sort of unnecessary. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just reintroduce you to one of these characters. This is what they're about. This is what they can do.
We've got a minute and a half of time.
Yeah, exactly. I always love that stuff. And with this, I thought it was super cool. At the end, Johnny Mundo makes a little appearance, which I love. He has a man bun. So sick. And he lets her drive. I love that. And he gets his little Johnny Mundo like fist in the air right as they speed away.
That's right. That was great.
Sick. Yeah, it was so cool. I just loved like the little things like that. I thought, what's funny is like, I love these promos so much. And at the end of them, they always slap the titles across them, and I just don't think those are necessary.
No, I agree.
It's like Taya arrives. It's like no Taya. It's like that does not really matter.
Yeah,
you know?
Makes me think that maybe they did shoot all of these a long time ago.
Yeah,
and so like, well, you know, maybe we will use them in a show. Maybe we're just going to use them as online.
Yeah, and it seemed weird because like she wasn't even really like, she was present in the rest of this episode, but she wasn't even really a factor in the match.
Yeah, that's a good point. She was kind of. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's my thoughts on Taya. Big fan. Love the promos. Love Taya. That was great.
Cool. So yeah, the next segment is King Cuerno at home.
Oh my god, I loved it. I had brunch today, and somebody was like, "Oh, what are you doing the rest of the day?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this wrestling podcast." They're like, "What?" Like they had no idea. And I'm like, "Yeah, Lucha Underground, Lucha Afterground, blah 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 blah." And I started talking about it, and they were so into it. And this is the type of segment that really intrigues people. You know, this is the type of thing you can say, like, there's a character who kidnapped the corpse of another wrestler and keeps it in his trophy room. That's the type of thing, when you say that to people, it doesn't matter if they like wrestling or not. They're like, I kind of want to see this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I loved it.
So that's going to build up to a match between them eventually, because we know Muertes. He's died once before. He'll be back
totally. I actually expected when they lingered on his face at the end, I expected his eyes to open.
Yeah,
I'm glad they didn't though.
Me too.
Cuerno didn't even need to say a word in this whole thing. It could have just been him, like, I don't know, like
having some
a cognac or something. Yeah, and then it just like slowly pans across like all the different heads, and then he's there. That's all that needed to happen. A word wasn't even necessary. It's cool though. I liked it, of course.
I like Captain Solo right where he is.
Yeah, totally.
I knew you'd like that. Next match was Cage versus Chavo for the Gift of the Gods.
What? Do we have snowflakes on this?
No.
What the hell?
No, Chavo's so
What
boring.
the hell? This is the best Chavo match ever.
It picked up at the end, but he's just so beige, man.
I cannot believe this. Travis.
Like when he went up,
not even. Oh my god.
He flirted. It got better at the end, but I just wasn't into it.
Dude, that is straight up whacked. You know it, and I know it, but hey, it is what it is.
I thought Vampiro and Matt Stryker did their best to make it seem like more, but I didn't think the crowd was into it. Not until the end when he did his frog splash. And,
It lagged a little in the middle.
and then it started to pick up. It wasn't enough. I don't. Chavo's a great hand. And I know he's an executive producer. And so I think there was a legit, when he went up with the belt, that's kind of him doing his own kind of little pop gauge to see how much the crowd cares. And he didn't get much. I don't know. He does play an important part in this, but putting on good matches he puts on adequate matches, but he's not a.
I was into it by the end. Yeah. By the end, this is the best match Chavo has ever wrestled in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
I thought it was excellent. I was rooting for Chavo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the end of it, because they built it when the match began. I was like, this match is going to be a squash. Like, it's going to be over quickly. Chavo figured it. Like they booked it well. By the end of it, I believed Chavo could win, and not only that, I wanted him to win because it was going in a direction that maybe I could see the swerve coming. Mm-hmm. And then Cage, of course, wins, which is totally cool. But it led me near the end of that match. I did not know who was going to win, and for that alone, I was like,
I can see that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, as I said, it picked up for me by the end, but for the most part, it's just
disturbing. Your pessimism sometimes is disturbing.
Pretty optimistic guy, I'd like to think.
This match is getting
No,
snug.
yeah, it wasn't. We weren't arguing enough for me to use that. We'll get there one day. I'm trying.
Cage then just grabbed the stick and called out Matanza, and we're getting a match already next week.
Yeah, so Cage is gonna. So now we know, based on the Man in the Wedge, that next week Cage will have wrestled twice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Matanza will be fresh.
And we'll see how it goes.
Maybe
Maybe they'll edit the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll keep that on your radar,
yeah.
Lucha Afterground fans. Man, we really are. I think we're finally beginning to give some interesting perspective on things.
Finally.
18 episodes in. Mm-hmm. It's good. Man in the Wedge segment. You don't get that from anywhere else.
Game changer.
That's right.
This next segment was backup Tayas with Jack Evans and PJ Black. Showed that they beat up Phoenix.
I loved it.
And then at first he's like, "Well, what's that partner, bro?" Yeah. And then Johnny Mundo's, "I'm your new partner." So this is 2 weeks in a row that he's kind of finagled his way into an attempt at Trios Championship.
So is this like, in terms of if you had like a power ranking or like some kind of ladder, I mean, Evans and Darewolf were pumped that Mundo was their new partner. Is that because should I interpret that Mundo is more powerful, quote unquote, is a better wrestler?
No, I think it's just because now we've got a guy who's more like on our page.
Like us,
yeah,
a little more.
Even though, like, I remember when in Phoenix was kind of playing up a slight.
I know. I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, I wonder how Trav feels about this.
I would have liked to have seen his character go that way because I know he could have done it. I love Phoenix. Phoenix is one of my favorites for sure.
Yep.
At least around this place.
What did you think of the air guitars?
Didn't do it for me.
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
Of course.
It just came out of nowhere.
I know and it wasn't just like a quick do walk away. It was like a back and forth. Oh my god,
yeah.
It was so funny.
I guess.
For me, it is a happy memory.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me. No, I'll be honest.
Oh man,
I thought
they were going for like a Bill and Ted.
That's what
thing.
it was. The Wild Stallions.
It was so good.
From that segment, we went into Katrina Dario's office where Cortez and Joey Ryan are raiding his thing and find that drawer full of cash.
This was a good episode for pushing plot, man.
Yeah.
We got the Cuerno stuff, and
What about Cortez, how he tried to cover up when Cisco came in? And his bad acting, looking for a contact lens.
Oh, I thought, but hey, between the three of them, let me rank them in order of acting. Okay. You want worst to best or best to worst?
Worst to best.
Worst to best. Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
Reyes, Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco was the best.
Cisco was by far the best.
Yeah.
You look at his facial expressions when he's being arrested, when he realizes what's going on.
Yeah.
That's truth, man. That's truth on the screen.
Yeah. So that is a big development.
Cisco is under arrest.
Yeah.
Do you think this this probably means the Disciples of Death are coming back?
No.
Yeah, I wonder if is that the end of Cisco? Do we see him again, or would this?
Or is he just like kind of has to play the patsy now? He'll be wearing a wire while he wrestles.
Man, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
I
think that's probably where it's going to go. That makes sense.
Where's
right?
a wire?
No, he just becomes. Hey, he has to kind of.
That would be sick.
Be
man.
like the rat to them.
Okay. Check this out. You put a wire on Cisco, and then he has a singles match against. I don't know who does. who's in on with Cuerno now? Really just his brother, I guess, eh? He doesn't really have cronies anymore.
Who's his brother? Cuerno's
Oh, not Cuerno, sorry. Dario Cueto.
Oh, yeah.
Cueto, of course.
Yeah. And he has it's his temple.
I want a wrestler who's an undercover cop who's wearing a wire, and in the corners they like record some of he's trying to bait him into saying something during like the audibles. Is that too inside baseball? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so Joey Ryan and Reyes are outed as police officers. Cisco is arrested, and then we move on to
The main event. Mm-hmm. Jack Evans, PJ Black, and Johnny Mundo versus Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, and Dragon Azteca Jr.
Awesome.
Taya did the intro. A really good shot of Melissa just looking like, fuck you. Do you remember she had this kind of leaning against
I didn't.
the thing?
I
She's just kind of like, you've got to be like, who the fuck are you?
I must have missed that. Must have blinked.
I love Jack Evans right when the match first started. It's like, Lucha has no merit.
I also love how he was like, you know how I feel about dragons.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, man. That's continuity.
Yeah, he's having so much fun.
I once heard somebody talk, who was it? I don't know, some indie wrestler maybe, Pat Buck. And I think it was Mike Quackenbush.
Yep.
Who was talking about how if you follow wrestling, you should be celebrated for knowing the continuity. And the way WWE books things, they almost punish you for knowing the continuity.
Yeah, it's
because
true.
they just they have no consistency beyond anything.
And they're like, okay, we're going to get rid of this now.
Yeah, and this is one of those things that's just like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, you do have a problem with dragons.
Yeah.
It's a great way to start the match.
Speaking of how like things kind of build on top of them, I think this match is what you could really describe as a Lucha Underground style match, because it has these different kinds of wrestlers still with guys who are based in Lucha, with Dragon Azteca and Rey Mysterio, and the way Puma works. But then with this kind of indie style and like this two former WWE stars, that it creates this different kind of hybrid that you don't really see anywhere else.
Yeah, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
The okay. Yeah, okay. The nutshot rampage at the end when they knocked out the ref, and then it was just like low blow after low blow after low blow.
Yeah,
so
and it was good. They got one more. He got one more in on Puma before he was about to get.
I loved it.
But that's like, if they're putting their hands on a referee and taking him out for what was essentially a bump, because he was down for a while, he wasn't being distracted. The match should have ended there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's up to isn't it? It's up to the ref.
I guess.
So, I mean, there's no other ref.
But like, there are ways to get away with doing things that the ref can't see it, and finding a way to like physically incapacitate them, I don't think should be a...
But they wanted to do, you needed to take them out for a long period of time so you could hit everybody with 2 to 3 nut shots.
I know.
You need time.
But Taya was there. There could have been a way that she could have had him distracted or pulled off or something. I just thought being physical with the ref kind of hurt things a little bit.
I will say that I was expecting, as soon as that to happen, to have the match be called as being over. And then, but I don't know, I just got swept up in all the nut shots.
Yeah, and to that extent, I thought it was a little overbooked with all the kind of goofiness and things like that. Even though it started off really well, I don't have snowflakes registered for this one either, bud.
What is the matter with you? You have what? Get some joy in your life, Travis.
I'll tell you what, I'll give this one a solid 3 just because of everyone involved and how...
Dude, that is straight up whacked. You know it, and I know it, but hey, it is what it is.
Pardon me, Mr. Hodgkinson. Yeah, okay, I'll give this one 3 stars. The more I think about it, things are getting a little snug in here, so I had to.
I bent you to my will. The soundboard. I have the power.
But I didn't love the finish with all the shenanigans and stuff, and I feel like.
But if you're gonna change the titles, like, you have to, like, they can't beat those 3 guys clean.
I guess, but that doesn't necessarily make for a good match. Dusty finishes can, kind of mess things up. I don't know if you call this a dusty finish or not, because it did have a legit ending.
So what do you think is going to happen after this? Are we going to get... Okay.
There was that one... I want to mention that one nutter spot that they tried where like he went off... it was Puma jumped off into Jack Evans, who reversed it into... It was like a Hurricane Rana reversed into PJ Black. And it just looked really kind of clunky. Like, help!
I'll be honest, I can't remember it all.
Yeah. So I mean, like, the guys were busting their asses for the most part, but I do feel also that Ray is being very limited in his use.
Well, he's an old man.
I guess.
Is he older or younger than Masquerita
still-
Sagrada?
Younger.
Younger.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Um,
Is Rey Mysterio a junior heavyweight?
yeah, sure. But he became so over that kind of took that Kenny Omega leap from Super Junior into main event heavyweight status and stuff. He's transcendent. Rey Mysterio's transcendent.
Oh, that's certain. Yeah, for sure. Okay, this is my prediction for the next trios match. You're going to see the current champs, Mundo, Evans, and Darewolf versus Evilise, Son of Havoc, and Phoenix.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Assuming Angelico is still at a commish.
Well, it sounds like he has a broken arm, like now, present day.
Jeez.
Yeah, like he's been tweeting about his rehab. So who knows if maybe he's not a player for a long time, for like a season and a half here.
That's kind of a shame.
Yeah, because he's awesome.
Yep.
But maybe he does show up. We'll see.
Okay.
New champs.
We've been watching Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah.
Ricochet is obviously involved. I want you, as like a little game here, I want you to remove 2 current competitors from, and let's use the original booking with the Young Bucks in there.
Okay. So that's it. The Young Bucks. That is such a blessing in disguise.
You're pulling the Young Bucks. Okay.
Owens and Finley have stepped up to everything I've seen so far. Has been great.
Okay.
But
that's cool.
No, I'll go with that.
Okay.
I'll go with them
Okay. And I want you to insert 2
from Lucha
Underground players.
So not Puma, obviously.
Yes.
He can't fight Ricochet.
That would be pretty crazy. A block and B block. He's in both pools.
Okay. Phoenix.
Cool.
Jack Evans. Phoenix and Jack Evans.
Yeah, man. I was thinking definitely Jack Evans, and I would have put in the Dragoness Tekka Jr.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, why isn't Rey Mysterio Jr. can do whatever he wants? Like, why not book him? I don't think he's
he's still capable of
totally
putting together great matches.
Totally. Like, nothing against some of the other guys who are in there, but like, I'd rather see, Well, I guess the thing is, if you can't bring in Rey Mysterio Jr. and not have him end up in like the finals or something, right? So it depends on who you're trying to put over, I suppose. Anyways, if you're listening to this and you're not watching any of the Best of the Super Junior tournament coming out of New Japan Pro Wrestling, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah,
There's
you may have heard some chatter about
that's
one
right.
of the matches.
That's right. The match that set the wrestling world on fire.
Yeah, I love it when something like that happens and the pundits just start like eating each other. It's so weird. It's such a weird culture, man.
Did you notice there was that guy? They cut to that guy during that match. We'll just I'll throw this at the end maybe. Who was wearing a PWG t-shirt?
Yeah, that was great. That was at the beginning of the match.
Yeah. And then they also had a "This Is Awesome" match.
A chant. Yeah,
I don't like that.
I know.
I want that shit to stop.
Yeah,
you know how I feel about crowds in wrestling.
Yeah.
I want empty stadiums only.
Christine thought that was hilarious to hear the Japanese fans chanting that.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
No, don't. You don't want to become American fans, guys. Please.
But I think it took that kind of match for it to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to mention?
No. Old stuff is on. The old episodes are still on YouTube. Keep listening. Tell your friends about us.
Yep. Please give us a rating, and you can check us out on Twitter. Just search for Lucha Afterground, and you'll find it. It's some convoluted mess of a Twitter handle that I made up one day, and that's about it. We should come up with a sign off.
We did have that.
Oh, that's right. I'm so stupid. Oh my god. Okay, wait. Anyways, tune in. Wait, we'll be here next. That's what it is. Okay. Ready? We'll be here next week.
The question is, will you join us?